Right now we are in the process of what we like to call putting the market garden to bed. So we are tidying things up, we're prepping things for the winter. There's a few things that we are doing for that this year. So right where we're standing is the asparagus patch, and this will all get mowed down. Our field blocks, we had some issues we've found with soil compaction. So we are working those a little bit harder than we would have otherwise. Then we're going to smooth that out. We will add some cover crops there, and we're gonna cover crop all the beds this year. We're gonna be using field peas, trying to put some nitrogen back into the ground and making sure the soil's covered for the winter, because the last thing you want is bare soil. Hopefully next spring when we're ready to put in our little seedlings, they'll be good to go.
So we're working on fighting some compaction issues on the farm. This year, when stuff was growing in these beds, you'd have like really nice growth, really healthy stuff out here, and then when you got to the middle, it just dipped down to nothing. So we were kind of all scratching our heads. We were wondering if it was compost, we were wondering if it was overwatering. We actually spaced out our sprinklers a little bit differently because we felt like we were watering too much in the middle. But then I got the Broadfork out and realized that in the middle, it was so compacted that I could barely drive this thing in at all. And so we've been Broadforking for the last couple of days, and this is what will help us solve this compaction issues. We just drive it in, and then we lift. So when we lift, this is allowing air and water to get down into those subsoils, which will allow the microorganisms to grow and thrive and increase the amount of like really good healthy topsoil we have. But it doesn't turn the soil. That's all I do. Then I go to the next spot and do the same thing. So it keeps the soil structure intact, but allows the aeration. The reason that soil structure is important to keep intact is that if you turn it and flip it, it kills off all the microorganisms, and you end up hurting the fertility of your soil long term. We're going to be using that all throughout the market garden as we're putting the garden to bed this fall. This is our next field block. So this was tarped as of yesterday. It's been tarped for about a month and a half. And you can see it's killed everything off, all the grass, which is just how we want it. We removed the tarp yesterday, and we're going to get the tractor out here with a big spike basically hanging off the back of it. And we're going to drive that spike down, and we're going to keyline it. So we'll have it'll dig down about 2 feet into the soil and just trench it. And we're hoping that that will help break up compaction. It'll be a little bit like a tillage that we'll do just once before we build our field blocks on top of it, hopefully to avoid the problems we've been having in this last field block. We're putting in concrete today for a material station. One of the things that we've come to realize is that it takes a lot of different materials to run the farm. So we bring in huge loads of compost regularly. We bring in big loads of wood chips, gravel to maintain the roads and walkways that we have. So we wanted a spot that no matter how wet and soupy the farm is, that we can drop large loads of materials. We're building 3 10-foot wide bays, much like you would see at like a lawn and garden center, where these big trucks can come in and drop off wood chips, compost, gravel, whatever it is, and we can have large quantities on site. We've put it on this end of the farm because it's further away from our hospitality concept. It's kind of back of house, but it's right up close to the farm, so whenever we need to grab materials, it's a quick in with the tractor, grab a bucket load, take it down the alleyway, and we're right where we want to be.
Hazel and I, this last spring, we worked on planting our Dahlia tubers together. It was the first time for both of us, and they were so beautiful, and we enjoyed them all season. We didn't really cut them or do much with them. They were just kind of for us, but it was a great experience.
My name's Hazel, and one of my favorite things to do is rock climbing, and I like to just kind of hang outside and play with my cat. And I like to do my ukulele and stuff. I really like having a bunch of animals because it's fun to like see all like different varieties and like take care of them and learn a lot about them. I also like to see all like the veggies and like being able to like produce stuff. It's kind of cool to see that like, oh, these veggies we grew and we get to put them in like our food.
So the next step in that is digging all those tubers up, and storing them for the winter. Okay, Hazel, so we want to be careful not to like cut any of the things. So I want you to kind of feel down a little bit. We can kind of break this soil. Yeah, Harvey's gonna help too. Good digging, Harvey. No, don't pull it. Let me get a big stick. Here, Harvey. Awesome, yeah, shake all that dirt off. We can divide this next year and we'll have even more than last year. What was that one? That one was Crazy Legs. Ooh, that one was really fun. Okay, nice work. Those are all of our snowbound, so those were the big white ones. This goes over here with our other, yeah, let's make sure that's a crazy. Yep, okay, cool.
I'm David Sweber. I'm 16 years old. I'm the oldest of 5. Full week on the farm is definitely a little bit less than it used to be in the summer, you know, with school and everything. It's harder to keep up and do as much as I used to be doing, but between feeding all the animals, the pigs, the chickens, and just doing whatever needs to be done, you know, harvesting tomatoes or harvesting whatever needs to be harvested, it's all a lot of work.
Okay, so this we think is going to be our solution for feed. We used to pick up these 1-ton sacks and load them on this trailer up at Majestic Mills, but they're not doing the 1-ton sacks anymore. All they want to do is delivery of like 3, 4, 5, 6 tons, which we don't have the silos for that. So we're trying to figure out a way that we can go up to them, pull up underneath their large bin and just have them dump straight onto our trailer. And then once we get it home, we can use these guys to lift it with the forks off the trailer. And then I want to rig up some kind of station where we can hang it and then put a spout like on the bottom of the bag and have the feed come out. This is an idea of a buddy of mine named Eric. So let's take off one of these guys, shorten it by 3 inches, and then we need another 3-inch gap. So we're going to cut basically where the line is now. We cut off, then measure 3 inches again and reattach these.
Special tuckaway pen, of course. That was the wrong thing to do. Wrong line, guys.
So we're going to attach these guys here like that. All right, that looks about perfect. Well, it's December. The leaves have dropped. The temperature has dropped. I'm now wearing thermals.
I'm wearing as many layers as I can put on.
Yep. We have our beverages and we get to reflect on our first year of farming. The good, the bad, the ugly, and sometimes the very ugly.
Yeah.
Here we go.